Most men walk into love thinking loyalty is a given, that if you show up, protect, provide, and pour yourself into her world, she'll stand by you when the tide turns. But that belief is what blinds you. Because most women aren't built to endure a man's darkness. They're drawn to his light, his energy, his momentum. They fall in love with the man who seems unshakable, the man whose vision is clear, whose grip on life is firm. But the second that grip loosens, the moment the foundation cracks, you start to see the shift. Not all at once, but gradually. She may still say she loves you, she may still lie next to you, but her eyes stop lighting up when you speak, her tone dulls, her touch weakens. That's because most women aren't emotionally wired to love through struggle, they're wired to seek safety. When your presence no longer feels like a shield, when your direction blurs. She doesn't feel inspired anymore, she feels exposed, and that exposure triggers panic. She won't always express it, but it'll show in her energy. The woman who once admired your strength now looks at your vulnerability like a problem she didn't sign up for. It's not because she's heartless. It's because her subconscious is whispering, this man might not be able to carry me anymore. And when that whisper gets loud enough, when it becomes a feeling she can't shake, her loyalty begins to drift. Not because you did something wrong, but because you stopped being the fantasy. You became real. You became human. And in her world, that humanity or weakness is sometimes enough for her to start searching for a way out. Not loudly, not suddenly, but silently, strategically, emotionally. And that's the truth. Most men learn too late. It always starts subtly. You won't notice it the first time. Maybe she takes a little longer to respond to your texts. Maybe her voice loses that warmth it used to have when she said your name. The hugs don't linger. The eye contact fades. And you'll tell yourself it's just a phase, that she's tired, stressed, distracted. But deep down, your instincts already know something's shifting. While you're busy trying to steady yourself, fighting battles she can't even see, she's emotionally checking out. Not because she's trying to hurt you, but because your struggle has become a mirror to her own fear, and instead of leaning in, she pulls away. That emotional distance grows wider, even though you're putting in more effort, trying harder, reaching out with both hands to hold on to something that's slipping through your fingers. You'll catch her staring at her phone more, being more protective with it. She'll say she just needs some time, some space, some clarity. But in reality, she's already comparing, already measuring you against a fantasy of someone more stable, more composed, more emotionally invincible. And in a world where attention is one swipe away, the temptation to move on quietly becomes overwhelming. She won't announce it, she won't say it to your face, but emotionally, she's trying out life without you, testing the waters, reimagining her options, all while you're still in the trenches, trying to hold everything together. That's the part that stings the most, not the leaving, but the slow fade, the way she disappears, piece by piece, right in front of you. And no matter how much you give, how honest or vulnerable you are, it won't pull her back. Because once she feels emotionally unsafe, her loyalty shifts from the relationship to self-preservation, and that's a battle you'll never win. This is the part where most men start to break. You're in the middle of your storm, trying to hold on, trying to find clarity through chaos, and the one person you thought would be your anchor is slipping away. You're not asking for the world, just a little patience, some understanding, maybe even a bit of quiet support. But instead, you get distance, silence, cold energy, and every time you try to explain what you're going through, every time you open up about your pain, it feels like you're pushing her further away. You start to realize that the vulnerability she claimed to admire is now turning her off, that the honesty you thought would bring you closer is making her feel burdened, because she doesn't see your struggle as strength and progress. She sees it as decline. And in her eyes, that decline means danger, instability, emotional risk. She wanted you to be the rock, not the man who's trying to find his footing again. And when you show that you're unsure, that you're human, that you bleed like anyone else, her attraction begins to erode. Not always out of malice. Sometimes she doesn't even realize it, but she starts looking at you differently, like a liability, like a question mark. The same man she once admired becomes a man she pities, and pity, for a woman, is where desire goes to die. That's why the strong men go silent. They stop explaining. They stop hoping she'll understand, because they finally see the truth. She's not built to hold space for their weakness, so they build in solitude. They turn their pain inward. And when they come back, they're colder, clearer, and completely unwilling to ever beg for emotional safety again. This is where the transformation begins, not out of inspiration, but out of necessity. You've been stripped down to nothing. No safety net, no soft place to land, no emotional cushion to fall back on. Just you, your pain, and the silence she left behind. And in that silence, you start to hear your own voice again. Not the version of you that needed her approval, not the one who tried to explain, plead, or fix things, but the version that remembers who he was before the noise. You stop waiting for her to come back. You stop checking your phone. You stop imagining scenarios where she understands and chooses you again. Because now, you understand. If she couldn't stay when you were broken, she doesn't deserve to be part of the man you're becoming. So you stop talking about your pain and start moving through it. Quietly, relentlessly, you start rebuilding your body, your mind, your discipline. Not for revenge, not for show, but for survival, for clarity, for truth. You learn how to sit in discomfort without reaching out. You learn how to be your own strength. And as you rise, brick by brick, inch by inch, the emotional hold she had on you starts to vanish. The memories stop haunting you. Her absence stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like peace. You become sharper. You listen more and speak less. And when she eventually looks back, because she won't find the broken man she left. She see a man she can no longer reach, no longer shake, no longer access. That's the power of rebuilding in silence. She abandoned you in the fire, but you walked through it. And what came out on the other side wasn't just healed, it was reborn. Untouchable. By the time you've rebuilt, everything has changed, not just around you, but within you. You no longer crave the comfort you once begged for. You no longer seek validation from someone who couldn't handle your truth. You've seen what happens when the masks fall, when the pretty words and promises are tested by real pressure. And now, you don't trust words, you trust patterns. You don't get seduced by warmth, you watch how long it lasts when the fire fades. You understand that most women don't leave during the storm because they're evil. They leave because they were never rooted deep enough to weather it. Their connection to you was based on how you made them feel, not on who you actually are. And feelings, they shift. They're fragile, they don't hold the weight of struggle. So now you move different. You love different. You choose different. You've stopped letting beauty blind you and started letting consistency guide you. You've become a man who doesn't flinch when tested, who doesn't fold when support disappears, who doesn't shrink when things get dark, because you've already been there. You know what it's like to be left behind, and you survived. So now, when a woman enters your life, she meets a version of you that's been sharpened by betrayal, grounded by pain, and rebuilt with precision. You no longer need her to stay, you want her to earn a place beside you. And if she can't walk through the mud, she won't dance in the victory. Because the man you are now, he doesn't hand out second chances. He doesn't beg to be understood. He doesn't tolerate half-hearted love. He leads. He chooses. He commands respect without asking. And most importantly, he never forgets who vanished when he needed them most.